So what about McCaffrey, dude?
All I'm saying is 33.5 points. That he averaged 13 points for me all season, I'm going to say.
He's averaged 13 points a game.
Yeah, I'm going to say a game this season. And I think that's what they were talking about on ESPN too. It's around like 13. They projected him to do 16.5, but he hit me with the big 33.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about this? So we're talking about our fantasy league. And what's interesting is the fact that some of these gadget guys are the ones that are gouging, like these running backs and stuff like that, it opens up a whole new conversation. So I used to think that, remember when Le'Veon Bell this year, you know how Le'Veon Bell this year has been holding out and stuff because he wants to be paid a lot?
Well, yeah.
So originally, when he started holding out, I was just like, yeah, whatever.
Well, he's been a big disappointment for fantasy.
Because he's not playing.
Yeah. But everybody projected, remember, at the beginning of the season, everybody was like, oh, he's better be the top pick in your fantasy draft.
Which usually is.
Well, yeah.
If he would have played, he probably would have been.
If. There's that if.
So my question is this. Originally, I was like, Le'Veon Bell shouldn't get paid as much as an elite offensive. Like, here's the thing. I don't care what anyone says. No player's worth more than a quarterback. We've talked about this before. Like, quarterback is the one position where it's like, you have to cement a guy, pay him $100 million. Because unlike all the other pieces in the NFL, your quarterback, if you lock him down, that's your franchise player at the most important position for 10 to 15 years. He ain't going nowhere. Whereas, like, all your other positions, they're revolving doors. You have to have multiple wide receivers. You got to have multiple running backs. They can come and go as they please. One plays good. He could go to another team the next year when his contract's up. Same with offensive line. And why do you think defenses don't last forever? Because there's 11 dudes on that side of the ball. And you got to keep a bunch of really good dudes under contract. And they all want money. That's why defenses only last 3 to 5 years. You can't keep... If you have 6, like, high-level elite players on defense, like, remember the Baltimore Ravens? Or here's an even better example. Remember how Seattle's defense, Legion of Boom, they won the Super Bowl?
Yes.
You couldn't keep all those dudes under contract.
I hate Pete Carroll, so yes, I hated them. But yes, they were good, and I'll give you that. But so let me ask you this: would you rather spend big money on one star back, or would you rather spend the money on 2 mild backs?
That's a good question, and it depends. It depends on what you're going to do. It depends on what scheme you're going to run. The reason why I'm happy you asked that question. Normally, I used to say that you can't play a running back a shit ton of money because they're not as important as like a quarterback and stuff like that, right? But now my stance has changed a little bit on that, and it's not that I'm backpedaling on the running back thing. Because of the rules now, the way the rules are designed for offenses to be really good, and you can barely play defense, can't hit dudes, all that shit, it makes a gadget guy so fucking important. Like a dude like, back to what you're saying about Christian McCaffrey. A dude like Christian McCaffrey, a dude like Le'Veon Bell, David Johnson, Todd Gurley, all these dudes that they can run inside, outside, they can line up and run routes like wide receivers, catch the ball, they can return, they can block. A guy like that is more important than your best wide receiver or your best pure runner. So now I'm starting to think outside of your quarterback and your pass rush and your line, a premier gadget guy is worth a lot of money. But look at Alvin Kamara. You know how much Alvin Kamara is going to make on your Saints?
Yeah, he's a freak, though. So.
He's only, 22?
Yeah, I believe so, 22, 23.
So he can return. He could run it inside and outside. You can line him up anywhere on the field, and he's a threat to catch the ball. He's a home run hitter. He's tough as nails. When his contract's up and it's time for him to ink a new deal, people are going to be lining up to pay him a lot of fucking money. The problem is, with Le'Veon Bell's case, to round the whole thing out, Le'Veon Bell is older than all these guys. I think he's turning 28. And for these running back gadget guys, like they have, it's not a lot of them can play at a high level for a long time. You take a lot of hits.
Well, I know the rules have changed, but I still believe backs are still taking a beating. So you think it's important to have two models, right? And
What I would say is if you can get your hands on a dude like Alvin Kamara, Todd Gurley, someone of that nature, you pay the big money just for him. And then I would say find like a short yardage guy, a guy that could get you. You always need more than one running back, but it depends on what route you want to go. Do you want to pay subpar money for a bunch of dudes that individually do one thing? Do you want a guy that, do you want to have three backs, right? A guy who's a well rounded back, right? Who can do a little bit of everything? Like the Patriots. They always have a guy that can do a little bit of everything. They got a guy that's good for short yardage and goal line shit. Then they got the dudes that can catch the ball out of the backfield and they rotate them in and out. So it just depends on what you want to do. Do you want to constantly spend low amounts of money and rotate every year your revolving door running backs? Or do you just want to drop a load of money on a dude that you could sign for 6 to 8 years and he can just do everything, and then you put a couple backs around him that can just spell him for a little bit so he's not tired and injured?
I would like to have the versatile back. Like, I get what you're saying. I would like to have the versatile back that can do it all. But then again, when Mark Ingram wasn't there to back Kamara up, I feel like they put a lot of the load on Kamara. And I was worried that he was going to get hurt. He didn't. He's a beast, but still, I think it's always good to have somebody in the back, somebody to back you up that's decent as well.
Well, that's why I like your guys' system where you're running backs the most. You got Alvin Kamara, who's a cheat code. He does absolutely everything, right? But then you got a really good running back with like Mark Ingram, who could start on a lot of teams, who can do a little bit of everything himself, but what's his moniker? Doesn't turn the ball over, runs like a savage, head down, gets you heavy yards. That you guys have the perfect system in the league. You got the, in my opinion, your team has the best two-back tandem. And I feel like I would rather have two really good running backs like that complement each other than to do the whole running back committee thing. Because it's like, you got to keep a bunch of dudes under contract. Some dudes might be more prone to injuries and stuff. And I just feel like you find that perfect contrast. You know, like the Patriots have like 7 running backs on their roster. Like that takes roster spots away. Now, granted, almost every dude off the Pats can catch balls, and that's what their running backs are for.
Yeah,
they don't pick dudes up that can't. Yeah, they're all like, a lot of times the Pats run that 2 wide receiver set with Gronk split inside, like with his hand in the dirt, and then 2 backs that can catch or run out the backfield. And that gives them so many options. Like you can use Gronk, who's a good run blocker. You can run it out of that. You can throw it out to the flat. If all your receivers don't get open, you got guys dumping off. Like James White murders teams, and he's not even that good of a running back. He's just a good pass catcher. He murders teams.
Well, speaking of the Pats leading the AFC East 7-2, do you think if you have a system that revolving around Tom Brady, so you think it's more important to back him up, to have that quarterback that can, you know what I mean? Because what if Tom Brady goes down and your whole system revolves around Tom Brady? Are you backing that up? Is that your main priority?
As far as what? What's the question?
We're talking about we're talking about backing up your running back, like having 2 mild running backs. That way you could have somebody to back them up. Well, in the New England Patriots, they base everything revolving. The offense is based on Tom Brady. Like you said, the backs, all that. Do you think it's important to have that backup for him, since the whole system, the whole offense, is revolving around him, Tom Brady?
I don't think it's that important because we've seen in the past that, yes, Tom is so good at running that system. And I don't think Tom is an assistant. I don't think Tom is a system quarterback. I think he could have played in any system. But But Belichick is so good at scheming and all these other things. We've seen it time and time again where if Tom's not in the game or he goes down or whatever, next guy steps up, plays good enough to win football games. Remember when Matt Castle played that whole year? And they still made the playoffs.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they still made the playoffs with Matt Castle.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it just depends. And, I mean, basically what I'm getting at is I've been reevaluating how much – you don't see it with the wide receivers because they're just wide receivers, right? They're not runners. But you see it with these gadget guys, these guys that play running back that could do everything. If you got a really good gadget guy, you don't even need to spend a shit ton of money on wide receivers. Le'Veon Bell has had years where he's caught like 90 balls. There's starting wide receivers that don't catch 90 balls. There's number one guys in the league. Number one guys, like the best wide receiver on some teams, does not catch 90 balls. So I've reevaluated my stance on how valuable a running back is worth if he is a gadget guy. I'm talking like if you're not a dude that can block, catch, line up outside, run, return kicks, all that stuff, line up in any formation, in my opinion, you're not really worth all that much in today's NFL. Unless it's a team that's really well balanced and they just like to pound the rock. Like Leonard Fournette's valuable in Jacksonville because their offense is trash. And he's a well-rounded back, but he's a really good runner. So they just line him up and they run everyone over. But if you're not like one of these dudes like Kamara, like a dude like Kamara is worth a lot of money in today's NFL. A lot of money. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about football. This is the Keepin' the G Real podcast. My boy James is back. This will be, your second time on the podcast?
Yeah, my second. But, I mean, this is a long time. We've been talking about this for a while, doing a fantasy-type NFL.
Breakdown.
Aaron doesn't know football. He's our conspiracy guy.
Yeah, Aaron's one of those dudes where, he used to watch football, but he's a super righty, so he hates football now just because people protest him.
Oh, they took a knee. I don't support them anymore. Well, guy, you didn't before that, so.
Right. I mean, basically what we're doing on this episode is we're going to break down the state of the league. We're halfway through the season, right?
Yeah. And we're going to. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this league, even though I had a dry spell the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, as far as fantasy goes, I don't know. What's your record?
I am 4-1. I don't know how I tied one game, but I tied a game. So
you're still okay? So right now in our fantasy league, you will make the playoffs if you keep going the way you're going. You can still have a shot to make the playoffs because I'm pretty sure in mine it's the last 2 dudes on each side don't make it in.
So
and it looks to me like you'll make it in because the bottom guys in your side of the bracket are 1-7 and 1 and 0-9.
Well, let me ask you this: since they had since the game was last night, did you think your brother knew what he was about to wake up to by playing Big Ben?
No, Spencer's kind of phoned it in because he's 0-9 and he was sleeping during our draft, so he didn't really get a fair shake at getting his team.
That's why I brought the question up.
No, he traded for all those players, I'm pretty sure. I think he made some sort of trade with Nate. So Spencer had Ben Roethlisberger last night?
Yeah. He's Angle Invaders, isn't he?
No, see, I looked at that last night. He's not.
Oh, okay.
It's my buddy Adam Coe. Yeah.
Well, Anal Invaders, do you think he expected that?
That's my buddy Adam. Who knows? He has crazy views on football. He's probably like, Ben Roethlisberger's going to run for 5 touchdowns, not throw 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, but he still got it, huh, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, look, they're going to have crazy games like that. And Ben's always been a good fantasy quarterback. I mean, look at his weapons. You got Antonio Brown and Juju Beans, or whatever his name is, Juju Smith-Schuster on his team. Every time I hear Juju Smith-Schuster's name, I think of Juji Fruits.
But they're leading the AFC North right now, 6-2.
The Bengals are hot, right hot on their trail.
I know. How does that make you feel about that win last night? It kind of separates the gap, huh?
The Bengals are fucking flakes, so it really doesn't matter.
We will see this weekend what happens against the Saints, huh?
Oh yeah, we'll get
to be friends this weekend?
We'll get to that. Yeah, honestly, I still like football and I still watch football, but
Red Dead Redemption's out right now, so that's why.
Yeah, but I don't love football anymore. I used to love football. I like it enough to play fantasy and watch it and stuff like that, but dude, I'm not joking. When I was in high school, I fucking freaked out every weekend, dude. Watch the Bengals, dude. I'd be screaming in my bedroom, just fucking telling them Carson Palmer's whack bum ass to throw the ball to Chad Johnson. Well, yeah, I played football, so like my life was like football and fucking football. Hug it.
All that testosterone running through young little Evan's body.
All steroids.
Yeah, just
hug it.
Yelling at the TV.
Football. Yeah, dude, I used to fucking scream like when my team had a good defense back then. It was like fucking Ray Maluga and the boys. Ray Maluga, fucking Samoan just coming down the pipe hitting dudes. I missed that. That was what. Here's the thing though. Hear me out. Before we start breaking these down, we're gonna go division by division and talk about what the standings are halfway through the season, the state of what's going on, and we'll make our predictions as we go as to what's happened. Talk about each team individually. But don't you miss how dope football was when like we were kids? And like, here's the thing, a lot of old people do that. We're not old, but how like a lot of old people try to act like every single fucking thing was better back when they were fucking younger. There's only a few things I do that with, and we're not even old. I mean, we're around our 30s. The only things that I really think was better, I think music used to be better than it is now. And then I definitely think from like 1990 to about like 2011, 2012 was when football was at its best. I don't like this brand of football. It has nothing to do with politics. It's just the rules, dude. You can't hit quarterbacks no more. You can't hit anyone no more. It's just the game is severely changed. Dude, you know what I loved? It makes it so the optics, it just looks like everything's like so easy. You got these high-scoring games. Dude, I remember used to watch my Bengals versus the Steelers back when teams played balanced and you could hit in the AFC, especially in the AFC North. Dude, the Steelers would come rolling into fucking town. Fucking Jerome Bettis and Hines Ward and Big Ben's. Big Ben's like fucking 19, still tagging chicks against their will and shit. Like, fucking, they would roll in the stadium, dude. They play balanced, dude. Jerome Bettis would get the ball like 35 times a game. His fat ass just running dudes over. And because the games were so balanced and so hard hitting, like, it just felt like they worked for more. It felt like there was more of a struggle. The games felt like a physical struggle, and like you were allowed to be a crazy character. Remember the dudes that played very young? John Litch, Brian Dawkins, Ray Lewis, Brett Favre, Urlacher, just like real tough guys.
Yeah,
dude, I miss that shit. That's one of the only things where it's like it's definitely sullied. Oh, wrestling sucks.
Remember now. Sean Taylor?
Yeah, dude. R.I.P. to the big homie, dude. What players did you like back then?
Man, I'm.
Well, you're a diehard Saints fan, so
okay.
Aaron Brooks,
I have to say shout out to Brett Favre because
I love Brett Favre too.
He went to Southern Miss.
Oh shit!
I'm a Mississippi boy, and so I was kind of a fan of him in there because we were amazed by him. Mississippi has always held on to him, and just his attitude too. How like he never went Hollywood.
Hattiesburg.
Yeah.
Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Hattiesburg. Boy, come on now.
Yeah, he went Hollywood all right, fucking showing his dick to bitches and shit.
I mean, yeah, but his attitude still say.
Oh, for sure.
Because, like, if I got rich and stuff, I would do outlandish shit like that, too,
Probably. Yo, you see how he, like, still practices, though? Like, he goes down to, like, the local high schools, dude, and, like, and he'll just kick it with, like, local high school teams. And if they don't have, like, if they need, like, an extra quarterback to warm up scout teams, dude, he'll just go out there and throw the ball for them and shit to, like, kids.
No,
You know how stoked they gotta be. Yeah. Brett Favre just shows up. He's like, "Oh, you guys need a backup quarterback?" Gets in there and he just throws the ball around the kids at like 45. Still got a rocket arm too.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. And because he's wearing what's that commercial he does, the copper, the little armbands and knee bands.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, that's the last time I seen him. It's his commercials.
Listen, the ladies are still trying to figure out what's under them Wranglers, all right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, what's her name found out? It wasn't Aaron Andrews, was it? Anyways, we're going off on tangent.
Yeah, we're going off subject.
Fuck you. But yeah, let's start with the AFC East. So obviously, as everyone, like we predicted in the beginning of the year, that New England would be on top. And like, I mean, what can you not say? What can you say that isn't already known about New England? I mean, they play. They just play really tight. They're well coached. Tom just runs that ship like a well-oiled machine, and they're fucking 7-2, man. They're seven. I predicted them to go 12-4 this year. I have a feeling they might not get 12-4, but they'll definitely get 10, 11 wins.
I'm gonna say that Tom steps it up, and they're a contender. I don't know. The Patriots always find a way to win. I think, especially when they need to find a way to win. So I'm going to say they're going to be a top contender. I always worry about them.
Teflon Tommy, the Teflon Don, dog.
Yeah, I always worry about him because I know if my team, if Breeze gets in there with him, and he goes up against another great quarterback, it's going to be a showdown for sure. So.
Yeah, I like this team. I worry a little bit. I don't know why I always worry about this. I just think it's like the strategic side of me. The Patriots haven't always had good weapons. So every time I see their rosters, especially lately, it's just like, you always think to yourself, does Tom have enough firepower to beat some of these high-level teams? But then he still comes out and does it.
Yeah.
They got Josh Gordon now, and he's playing all right. I hope he starts to pick up. Do you think he starts to come on the second half of the year? Because he's one of the most talented players in the league. It's just getting them going and staying on top of them,
What do you mean by getting them going?
Like, you got to start giving them balls. You got to get them prepared. You got to get them motivated. You could see sometimes he just doesn't seem so motivated out there. It just looks like it to me. I'm not sure. I mean, they traded us like a fucking 5th-round pick to get him, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, I mean, I think if Josh Gordon can get it going and step up, I think they'll be like a legitimate threat because they got everything else. If Josh Gordon could come out there and be the old Josh Gordon, he's only 26, 27.
And let Gronkowski, if he stays healthy, he's questionable right now.
Is he really? He's always fucking hurt.
He's questionable right now.
As big as he is, he's hurt 24/7. I don't get that.
And he is a powerhouse, and he is a weapon, but for how long? You know what I mean? It's getting a little ridiculous.
What do you think? What do you think about Miami just fucking sliding in here at 5-4? I didn't expect that shit.
Yes, I don't know. I would have to look who they've played right now, but they're surprising me. They're building a franchise, that's for sure.
Well, what's weird is Miami's probably the weirdest fucking team in all of sports, in my opinion, because Miami, for whatever fucking reason, their organization as a whole has just been trash. They've never been able to get it together. They had one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in Dan Marino, and they fucking wasted that shit. Fucking get to Super Bowl moves and shit. Like, it's just weird. They're never, like, they always flirt on being good, and they always have talent because dudes go, I feel like Miami's one of those places, because of where it is and it's warm and all that stuff, that they always have talent because dudes just go there.
Well, they have to be at least good on offense a little bit because they beat the Titans, which it was the first game, but the Titans defense they're like the highest scoring defense right now. They're pretty impressive.
And if you look at like the amount of points teams have scored, those first 3 weeks they didn't play that bad defense. If you give up 20, 12, and then 20, you're not doing too bad in today's NFL because, like, everyone's scoring 30-plus points a game right now. But then they got smoked by the Pats, 38-7. They lost my Bengals, 27-17. They just beat the.
Oh, you were gonna say that we got them.
But look at these wins though, dude. They beat the Bears.
Yeah.
You can make an argument that the Bears on paper are better than my team. And they beat the Bears 31-28 in a gut check game. But then you see they're so inconsistent. They lose to the Lions, who are trash. They lose to the Texans, they're a good team. They beat the Jets 13-6, but I don't know. But look at the rest of their schedule.
The Bears, I feel like they could beat the Texans.
Listen, dude, look at their schedule though. Packers, they could win that game. Packers are looking like shit. They could probably win the Colts, but I don't know, dude. They could easily win their next 3 games. Packers, Colts, Bills.
If they don't beat the Bills, then
they'll beat the Colts and Bills. Yeah. Say they win their next 3 games. That puts them at what? 8-4.
Yeah.
Then they lose to the Pats, Vikings. Dude, the Dolphins could make the playoffs. Look at this. They got games they can win here. They could beat the Pats. They could beat the Colts. They could beat the Bills. They could beat the Jags and the Bills. The only two games that they're a lock to lose are the Vikings and the Patriots.
Yeah, they're not going to beat the Vikings.
Which puts them at what? 12-4. Or no, 10-6. They could possibly go 10-6.
I don't see them going that far.
I don't see it either.
Maybe first game, maybe first round.
I think because of Jacksonville's defense, they'd probably lose to Jacksonville. And then I think they'll lose to the Packers. Then it'll put them at 8-8. I think they go 8-8. I think they go 8-8.
I'll agree with that.
And then, of course, I mean, what do we got? We got the Jets. The Jets are a weird one for me because I was wrong about the Jets, but I picked the Jets to go like 7-9 and squeak into the wild card.
Did you really?
Yeah, because
why? Tell me what you like about them.
Okay, so I love their defense, and I don't know what their defensive stats are, but I love their defensive personnel. Their defense will be good in the future. They got a lot of young, fast linebackers. They got one of the best. They got a good front seven, and they have one of the best young players, like safeties in the league.
Jamal Adams.
Jamal Adams is really good. And then Sam Darnold, he played good the first. He's played as good as you can play as a rookie in that situation, but they don't really have a run game. The reason why I picked them to get over the top was I thought Sam Darnold was going to play good.
He's questionable right now.
Really?
Yes, he is questionable. So is McCown,
he's a good backup.
Josh?
Yep, Josh McCown. He played good last year. The thing that sucked was the spot is, you know what's letting them down is the spot that I thought was going to put them over the edge. Last year, their wide receiver core was sneaky good. With Robbie Anderson, Quincy Enunwa, and who's the dude that came over from the Seahawks? The dude that came over from the Seahawks looks like someone's fucking dad. He played well for the Seahawks the past 2 years. What the fuck is his name? He played good for the Jets last year and had like 9 touchdowns or whatever. I always forget his name, but when I see him, I'm like, yeah.
Is he still playing for him?
Yeah, he plays for him now. They picked him up, and he last year, and he played good last year. Let me find him. See, look, Robbie Anderson's their leading receiver, and he's only got fucking 346 yards. That's trash.
Yeah, they're out. I don't see.
Oh, Jermaine Kearse. See, Jermaine Kearse has only got 22 catches this year, no touchdowns. They're just their wide receiver core. They're not playing as good as they played last year, and it's not helping. It's not really helping Darnold, man. Darnold's what? Darnold's got what's his passer rating right now? Look, his pass rating's not even fucking 70, dude.
68.3.
Almost 2,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. How many interceptions? 14 interceptions. But you got to remember, people are shitting on Darnold. I think Darnold's playing as well as he can play and showing promise, even though they're 3-6. Peyton Manning threw like almost 30 fucking interceptions his rookie year. People always forget that shit.
Yeah,
so
he's a rookie. So.
And I'm not comparing him to Peyton Manning or anything, but I think Darnold's the least of their worries. I think they need to make moves in the offseason. They have the highest cap salary right now in the league, like extra cap. They need to make moves in the offseason. You want to know who I think they're going to sign? I think they're going to try to make a sign-and-trade deal for Le'Veon Bell. Because they can afford to pay Le'Veon Bell a shit ton of money. Be like, Le'Veon, come over here. Give Le'Veon a 4-year deal. Plays till he's 32.
That'd be a good fit, I believe.
Yeah. Get some offensive weapons.
Sam Darnold's going to grow, too, because, like, can you imagine just being thrown into the NFL? As a rookie.
Yeah, and one of the worst organizations, they're just like, here you go, bitch, your team sucks, play.
Like,
And I just don't see – I really think the Jets might win 1 or 2 more games, and that'll be about it. But I had them going 9-7. I remember one of our first episodes we did, 9-7 I picked them. I picked the Patriots to go 12-4, Jets to be 9-7 and squeak in the playoffs. I picked Miami to go 6-10, and then the Bills to go 5-11 or some shit. And then, I mean, what can we really say about the Bills to round this division out? I mean, the Bills are trash.
They actually play the Jets this weekend. So
yeah, I think the Jets will probably beat them, but like the Bills are just. I really think the Bills took the wrong quarterback. And I said Josh Allen was the worst out of the 5 kids. I still think Lamar Jackson's a better quarterback than Josh Allen. He's just playing behind Joe Flacco. He's going to eventually get his chance to play. and he's dynamic. He'll score points because of his skill set, throwing and running. Lamar Jackson will eventually start for the Ravens. He'll score points.
Do you think LaShawn McCoy needs a team?
Rumors he's getting traded.
Or do you think that's where he needs?
When does the trade deadline end? Do you know?
He doesn't need to be there for the Bills curse. Like I still have faith in him.
My thing is how much do you offer for a dude like LaShawn McCoy? Motherfucker's like 30 now.
Yeah, it's not what you would charge for Kamara. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, that's night and day. I mean, you can give up if you're a team that's on the cusp and you need a running back like that. I mean, you can give up a 3rd or 4th round pick for him probably.
I would still say he was reliable back, more reliable than your Adrian Peterson.
Like if you're like what's the face? If you're a team like the fucking Packers who don't have any good running backs, like you could throw a 4th round pick for LaShawn McCoy. That would help your offense a lot.
I could see him fitting there because if anything to throw some attention off Aaron Rodgers, because all attention's on him. Defenses are focusing on him, because he's pretty good. I would put him over Breeze maybe. Maybe not by accomplishments, but by the quality of a quarterback right now. I would keep him. Yeah, I would put him over.
You mean skill-wise? Possibly. In my opinion, skill-wise, he's probably the best. Like in terms of when it comes down to it, what a quarterback could do, Aaron Rodgers, skill-wise, can do more than any quarterback ever. He's made throws that no quarterbacks can make. No other quarterbacks can make. In the past.
He's clutch too. That's what I like about him. He's clutch.
We'll talk about that when we get to them, but I really think that Aaron Rodgers needs to move on from playing from Green Bay or demand a trade or some shit because that organization is fucking really screwed the pooch on having one of the greatest, most skilled quarterbacks ever on their team. They had a guy that could have won them multiple Super Bowls, but they fucking trade away all his favorite players. They don't go out in free agency to get dudes. We'll talk about it when we get there, but he should roll out. But yeah, I mean, the AFC North or East is the same as it's always been. Patriots on top. We moved to the AFC North, and obviously,
I still say Patriots are always a contender.
Yeah, with Tom at the helm, they're always a contender. Yeah.
Okay, so you want to go to the North now?
Yeah, AFC North. So what do you think about all this shit?
Let's talk about Big Ben now.
It's a tight race.
We've already touched on Big Ben, but yeah, he definitely showed he's not too old to be in the NFL last night.
How old's he now?
He threw 5 touchdowns. I think it was 380-something yards is what he got, and no interception. So I was
How old's Ben now? 400? He's 35, right?
I think he's older than that. I thought
Big Ben's I had to put down the cocaine. I had to stop harassing the bitches at the nightclubs.
36.
We had to really get into this.
He's 36.
Yeah, they probably had their team meeting at a strip club before the year, and before the beginning of the year. All right, boys, this is the last time we're going to hang out at a place like this. We got to win a Super Bowl.
Shoot, he probably has to I don't know, man. Ain't no telling how many pills that dude's on because his body has been through a lot. He has played during the times that you could get hit that we were talking about earlier.
He'll pop and
he was handing the ball to the bus. You know what I mean?
Yeah, now he's in the system. Remember, balanced football. Back then, he didn't have to throw the ball a shit ton.
Yeah, but his body is still hurt from that, though. Just imagine, how he creaks in the morning.
Yeah, right.
Old legend.
Big Ben's probably got 9 kids. They probably fucking lift him out of bed. They're just little fucking slaves. What I want to talk about with the Pittsburgh Steelers is, look, I mean, they're always at the top of the division most of the time. I mean, Cincinnati's won it a couple times since, in the past decade, but same with Baltimore. Cleveland's just trash, but the Steelers, I want to talk about what we were talking about earlier with the James Conner thing. Did you know James Conner's done something Le'Veon Bell's never done? Most touchdowns through the first half of the season. No Steelers ever done it, gotten as many as James Conner has.
No, I did not know that.
I think James Conner's playing just as good as Le'Veon Bell's played for them. So my question to you is, what do you think they should do? You think they should just trade? Honestly, I think they should just trade Le'Veon Bell's ass to the highest bidder.
Well, last night.
And keep Conner. Conner's only, 22 years old? Le'Veon Bell's turning 28. Get him the fuck out of here. And he wants to hold out?
Well, speaking of that, Connor's questionable right now.
Send him to the Saints.
He got a little tweak last night.
I go send him to the Saints. No, you don't need any more running backs.
No, we're good on backs right now, but he's tweaked right now, so he's questionable. But he did have 65 yards last night and a touchdown, so he backed Ben up. But the show was.
Oh, I read that he's on concussion protocol.
Okay, so that's what it is.
So, which means he might miss a game.
So, and then you got Antonio Brown he had 6 receptions, 96 yards, and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, I mean,
not surprising.
Yeah, not surprising at all. Antonio Brown, he's kind of a dink, but dude, he's so fucking good. He's so good.
What happened to Cam last night? During the game, since we're talking about the game, I know this is off subject.
Right. Well, we're talking about no, it's not because we're talking about they played him last night.
He just.
I didn't watch the game.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
I watched some of it. I watched like some of the first quarter at Dave and Buster's last night because that's where we all were.
Yeah.
And Christian McCaffrey tore it up and stuff like that. But I don't know. Like Steelers, I'm pretty sure are starting to play better defense.
It's a McCaffrey show because you got Cam Newton threw 193 yards with 2 touchdowns and an interception. So he had a very mediocre night. But then, okay, what about Juju?
He played good, right?
Yeah, he had out of just 3 receptions, he had 90 yards and a touchdown. So he's a big.
I like Juju, run after the catch guy.
Yeah,
those are my favorite wide receivers. A dude that's like a running back that plays wide receiver, like they just run underneath routes or curl routes. He gets the ball, he turns around, he's like, "Come on!" Just starts running through dudes.
Yeah.
Like remember Anquan Bolden back in the day? Remember Anquan Bolden back in the day?
Yes, I do.
Oh yeah, so Anquan Bolden used to just like never really super fast guy. He was never like he was like a 4.4. He was like a 4.5, 5.4, 4.6 guy when he ran the combine. But Anquan Bolden was a sure catch dude, run the routes, run through you.
Yeah. I like
so hard to take down. I love those guys. Hines Ward was like that too, speaking of Steelers.
Dude, Hines Ward, I found out that dude played like quarterback and everything.
In high school and college,
yeah. He played quarterback at Georgia, didn't he?
I'm not sure.
He was a Bulldog, I believe. Yeah.
Yo.
I remember that because I was a big Hines Ward fan. He was one of my favorite players because he would just smile real big and then hit you in the mouth that you couldn't believe an old man could because he played for a while. But I would say Big Ben, he definitely owned the show last night.
Dude, Hines Ward used to land the nastiest blocks on dudes. Remember that shit?
That's what
like crack blocks. He used to knock people the fuck out.
Yes, and then he would smile because I remember they would always zoom in on him smiling. He was like such a happy dude, but he would go out there and just punish you for no reason, even if he didn't have to, just to show you that hey, I may have a little age on me. You know what I mean? But I'm still here to play football.
Well, I think he always had a chip on his shoulder, being an undersized guy and stuff like that. And underrated actual receiver, too, Hines Ward. Like, he could run really good routes. Like, he had good awareness, separation, knew how to get himself open, never dropped the ball.
He has a ring. Does he have more than one?
Yeah, he got a couple.
Yeah. Yeah, he is definitely.
I don't know what his numbers are. I don't know if he's like a Hall of Fame. I mean, if his numbers are good enough, he could be a borderline Hall of Fame player because he's got a bunch of rings.
Well, I know he won the rings too at that time that we were talking about that smash mouth football.
Buzz.
Yeah, the buzz.
Dude, Jerome Bess is savage doing Campbell Chunky commercials and shit.
Hey, there's a mic'd up with Jerome Bettis, and that dude is so good.
Come on now.
His attitude just matches his running style. So,
dude, yeah, he used to talk so much fucking shit, dude.
Yeah.
He's lucky Chad Johnson didn't play defense, though. That's a joke. But, yeah, you know what you're getting with Pittsburgh? Like, they're 6-2. Do I think – listen, Pittsburgh lately has been flaky and stuff. I think eventually they're going to be getting a new coach. Big Ben's going to be leaving. I think eventually Pittsburgh's going to have it all new look. I think it'll be revamped.
How long does he last?
He's already been talking about retirement. And when a dude starts talking about retirement usually soon follows.
Yeah, dude, I told you he's hurting. He don't know pills, bro.
He's one of those dudes who's like, he's like, well, hey, yeah, I got a lot of kids home, and I'm sick and tired of making millions of dollars. I want to go hang out with my kids. He's one of those dudes. I'd be like, my kids can fucking stay home.
All right, you want to move on to your favorite part?
Whatever, dude. They fucking suck.
You know what time it is now.
Yeah, the fucking it was a Stangle hour
out here. You got a lot to say. What about Andy? You like Andy?
I see. I personally love Andy Dalton, but I mean, it's been a decade. Did I ever tell you about that year he got drafted?
No, but I didn't know. I just found out he came from TCU. That's awesome.
Listen, my buddy Adam, who I hope to have on the podcast when he comes home from the military this fall or this winter. I remember the year that Andy Dalton and AJ Green got drafted. We're sitting at my buddy's house. We're watching the draft, right? And I knew at some point they were going to take a quarterback. So I'm sitting there, and they already picked AJ Green with the first round pick. And I was like, yeah, cool, told her I loved her or whatever. AJ Green. Didn't know how good he was going to be, whatever. But there was still good quarterbacks left on the board, right? And there was I want to say Colin Kaepernick was one of the quarterbacks that was left on the board. There was a couple guys left on the board. And I was yelling at the TV screen, my buddy Adam. I go, I don't give a fuck. I go, I don't care about measurables. I don't care about system. None of that. I go, I want the guy that's won. And I'm pretty sure Andy Dalton either has the record for the most wins in college football of a quarterback or he tied or some shit. He only lost one game at TCU in 4 years.
He was with TCU when they were shocking the world, and they were
ESPN smoking everyone.
Was not wanting to rank them where they should be. I remember that because everybody was hating. What about TCU?
And I was screaming at the TV. I go, I want Andy fucking Dalton and all this stuff, right? And then they drafted him, and I lost my shit, right?
Yeah.
That was when I loved football.
Did you see how he did at the combine?
He did all right at the combine back in the day. It wasn't he didn't smoke it, knock anyone's socks off with his athletic ability.
The reason I asked is because there was all that controversy just because he came from TCU. They didn't want to never give TCU their respect.
Well, it was because he played in a system at TCU where it was a spread offense where he never was under center and he just got quick snaps and threw the ball all over the place.
Yeah.
But dude, they played the Bills his rookie year, right? This is when the Bills were making the playoffs and they had a hard-nosed defense. Fucking dude, I'll never forget it, dude. It was the only moment in my life where I thought there was some life to my team for real. Andy Dalton drops back. It's 4th and 11 or some shit. Me and my buddy Adam again were watching this game in his living room. Andy Dalton drops back, pump fakes, nowhere to go, runs out to his right. Dude, it's him and remember Dante Whitner played for the Bills. They used to call him Dante Hittner. He's a safety. All of a sudden, Dalton runs out to the right. He's just got Dante Whitner to beat, and they're both running to the first down marker, right? Andy Dalton runs, dives, sticks the ball out, barely gets the first down to keep the drive alive. And then we ended up kicking a field goal to win, and I'm going, Super Bowl! Screaming at buddy's fucking living room and all this shit. I really thought it was over. I thought Andy Dalton was the fucking second coming to Jesus Christ and all this shit. I'm Super Bowl! Bengals Super Bowl! All this stuff, dude. It was so funny, but...
Would you say you're going to be that hype on the game this weekend?
I think you guys are going to beat us for sure.
Okay, AJ Green's out. You know that, right?
Yeah, Tyler Boyd will probably just gouge your corners for 20 catches and 250 yards and 5 touchdowns, but...
Is that what's going to happen?
Other than that, no, you guys will smoke us, dude. Our defense has tons of really good personnel, but we're so inconsistent on defense. Offensively, we're one of the highest scoring teams in the league. But defense, we can't stop no one on D. Especially in the run game, dude. We give up so many rushing yards. It makes me sick to my stomach.
Where has Bernard been?
He's been injured.
Okay.
But yeah, the Bengals, here's the deal. The Bengals I really do firmly believe they got a chance to squeak in as the wild card. If they do, they'll probably lose in the first round to somebody as usual. We haven't won a fucking playoff game since the year I was born, dude.
And you don't think this is the year?
No, I don't.
Well, I think they've had better teams at times where you in these past couple of years, and you think they would do better in the playoffs. So you think it's a curse or
No, it's just the organization's not that well run, and I
play
really,
calling?
I
have
really,
anything to do
no,
with it?
yeah, I really believe Marvin Lewis shouldn't coach a team anymore.
I mean,
You know what? We talked about this one too. Marvin Lewis is a good dude and all this shit, and Marvin Lewis is actually a good coach as far as like schematically, technically, and stuff. He knows football. But Marvin Lewis let a lot of stupid fuck shit happen in our organization for so long. We freaking picked up so many dudes that were like criminals, so many dudes that couldn't stay in trouble, and like he's always like the players coach where he's kind of just like, oh hey champ and all this stuff, and he's buddy buddy with everyone instead of disciplining
and he's
people.
not getting the respect.
He's just not that good in my opinion. He's not the right leader that we need in our situation, and I just
I
think
know those types of leaders, they never get the
he doesn't
type
have
of respect because
he doesn't have control over the locker room. And I just think that after the season, no matter what happens, I feel like they should fucking let him go and pick up somebody else. And eventually, like, they signed Dalton to that. They signed Dalton to like a fucking 10-year, $100 million deal a handful of years back. And it's like, and I love Dalton. If you want to be honest, you want to keep it fucking 100. He's, from a statistical standpoint, he's the best quarterback to ever play for the Bengals.
do you think they're gonna beat the excuse me, sorry, they've already played, I believe. The Ravens.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you look at their schedule, let's see what their schedule is. Shit's running so fucking slow.
They don't even play the Ravens.
They already played the Ravens once. They do play the Ravens again.
They do?
We play them next week.
Okay, I'm looking at the wrong schedule.
All right, so look. We lost to the Ravens. We played them. Look, dude, we got to play a bunch of good teams. So we're going to lose to you. We got to play the Ravens. That's a team we can lose to. We got to play the Chargers. That's a team we can lose to. We got to play the Steelers again. It's going to make it borderline. We're going to be one of the teams vying for a wild card spot.
Do you think they're going to lose tomorrow, Senior?
Yeah.
You're not going to let me have any fun with you and call you during the game.
You can call me. It's just
and talk shit.
I ain't gonna have much to say.
I know, but it's not as fun if you don't believe in your team.
Yeah, but unlike the rest of these freaking whack ass fucking bum fans that love their football teams, I'm honest and objective about my football team. Back when my team was wicked good, I fucking talk shit to everyone. Dude, my team used to have, back when Chad Johnson played, you had an elite top 10 defense every single year. We had Chad Johnson on one side, TJ Husmanzada on the other. Good offensive line. And, dude, I fucking thought we could beat anyone, dude. We roll into town, dude. I fucking was die hard for my Bengals for like a 6-year stretch. And then when they drafted Andy Dalton and AJ Green, we built another really good defense. And I was back on them. I was like, yo, this team's legit. And we did get to the playoffs a couple times, but dude, we lost. Like, we kept losing to the Texans. It was sad. We get to the playoffs and play the Texans in the wild card and fucking lose. We lost to TJ Yates one year. Fucking TJ Yates. Do you even know who that is?
I believe so.
He's fucking trash. We lost to that motherfucker one year. Like,
do you think? So you think next week, Andy going up against Flacco? Since we're talking about.
Well, first off, Flacco's a fucking bitch. All right.
So he doesn't compare to your
Fuck
Andy,
Flacco.
your sweet Andy.
Listen, Dalton will come across with that Christian orange firepower and just punch fucking Flacco in his jaw. You ever see Andy Dalton try to fire the team up? He's like, all right, guys, let's go. He's just not a fiery leader. Come on, guys. He's like, all right, guys, excuse me.
What do you think Crabtree's going to do? Do you think he's any good?
No, Crabtree for the Ravens?
Yeah.
He's going to get shut down by fucking William Jackson III, all right? You know what? Michael Thomas is going to get shut down by William Jackson III this weekend, and that's facts. William Jackson III, the most underrated defensive player in the league. No one talks about him.
Stats right now.
No one talks about William Jackson. Well, it's hard. It's hard with corner stats because there's sometimes the corner takes a player out of the game without ever having to do anything. The stat you want to look for corners is how much they throw the ball to his side. Because if they don't throw the ball to that corner side a lot, they're avoiding him because he's that good.
Yeah.
But yeah, bottom line, Bengals, we'll go 8-8, 9-7. That's our thing. And that's what I said at the beginning of the year. I said 8-8, 9-7, flirt with a wild card. I said that.
I will give you 8-8 just because
we have a bunch of teams that could beat us at the end.
But still, I just think that I think they will get a wild card because here lately the Bengals have impressed me. I'll say that. Andy Dalton has impressed me because I remember when the Bengals were pretty terrible.
Still are. They still are, dude. Fuck my Bengals. Baltimore.
They're not, man. They're just a mediocre team right now, I believe.
And then you got Baltimore. I don't understand. I love Colin Cowherd, but Colin Cowherd sucks Baltimore's dick off so much. Like, you know what's hilarious about this whole thing is, obviously I'm so pessimistic about my Bengals. Colin Cowherd does his herd hierarchy, the top 10 teams in the league every single year. And right now he's doing the herd hierarchy. And he keeps putting Baltimore at like anywhere between 10 to 8. It just discludes the fact that the Bengals are higher than them in the division. And I get it. It's because Baltimore's have a win over the Bengals. But who's to say we won't come out on? What if we? I guarantee you, mark my words. If we say we somehow beat you this weekend, and then we go on to beat the Ravens, guarantee you, Colin Cowherd still does not put the Bengals. That'll put us at 7-3. Guarantee he doesn't put the Bengals in the top 7-3. He hates my Bengals.
So he hates on them because he loves Ravens?
Yeah, he thinks that, it's the whole Ozzie Newsome, the Ravens mystique, they've won championships. Fuck the Ravens. Anyways, let's talk about the fuck Cleveland Browns. Because the Cleveland Browns is the most interesting team in this whole division. You want to know why? Fuck, Baker Mayfield is a fucking savage, right? He's out there leading the Browns, right?
I just like the guy, man.
Dude, he's awesome.
I think his personality, everything, his profile, I like him, man.
He's out there. He's like, boys, let's do this, dude. It's great.
He just stayed there. He's hitting it full throttle. He's got full confidence. And he goes out there. He doesn't really care if he's going to mess it up or whatever. He's like, hey, I'm just going to send it.
Send it. I mean? Exactly. He goes, let's send it. You know what's funny about these Browns? That's why I'm saying fuck the Ravens. The Browns have, I think it's 3 or 4 of their losses. They lost by a fucking field goal.
Yeah, they almost beat my Saints, and I was like, no.
Yeah, dude, the Browns are a legit team now because
they should have beat the Saints.
Yeah, they should have beat the Saints. They're down so far now that I don't see them coming back. The Browns won't make the playoffs now, right? We're halfway through the season. They probably won't make it in. But honestly, the Browns should be like. The Browns could have been like 4-4.
No, I agree because I
the Browns could easily be 4-4 right now.
Or
like 5-4.
Saints, and that field goal kicker kept missing the field goal. He missed like 3 consecutive field goals, and all he had to do was make one at any time, and they would have won. And I felt bad for the kicker, but still, I did not want the Saints to be the first team the Browns have beat in a while.
So now my question to you is, do you think the Browns, after years and years and years of sucking, do you think they're starting to get it right now? Their last handful of drafts, they've drafted all really good players. I personally love this Browns team. I love watching them. Baker Mayfield, good young running backs. They got fucking Jarvis Landry, who's my favorite wide receiver in the league. They got a really good defense, nasty dudes that get after you, Myles Garrett. I love this team. I really think that if they could build an offensive lineup, they could possibly be a playoff team the next year or two.
I do believe that they.
And this is the first time I've really said this.
They've built a good program, and Baker Mayfield, he is just the guy to not believe in the curse and to take them to where they need to be to get to the playoffs.
But then again, you know what I think about? The Browns still have wicked dumb logic and shit. You want to know part of the reason why the Browns took him? I've heard rumors that they already liked Baker Mayfield just as much as the other guys, but apparently the Browns took him because Baker wanted to be there. Because they seen an interview where Baker's they go, how do you feel if you get drafted first overall to the Browns? Basically saying you don't want to go to the Browns, they suck. And Baker Mayfield was like, fucking sucking fucking dick. I'll go there and win a fucking Super Bowl and all this shit, right?
Well, he was looking at it like a draftee. He was looking at it as an honor to get drafted. First pick. Probably get paid the most.
Right.
And And then he has his challenge. That's what I like about his attitude. He's just like, I'm just gonna send it. I'll go there and I'll turn this shit around. It don't matter.
Send it. He's out there, dude. He gets in the pocket with the happy feet. He's pitter pattering. He's elusive. He's down. Dude. Okay, he doesn't get rattled. Send it.
They beat the Jets, and they almost beat the Raiders.
Send it.
The Ravens. Nobody seen that.
Dude, I'm sorry, but like, you have no idea how I felt bad. But when Baker came in for fucking Tyrod, I started losing my shit. I was like throwing shit in my room like, Baker, baby, I'm fucking said that. Fucking screaming, dude. It was so good. He come out there and he's just, the team started playing different. When he came on the field for Tyrod Taylor, that game where Tyrod hurt his wrist, dude, I shit you not. The dudes started moving differently. They had more jazz, a little more pizzazz. Like, they just looked like they're like, okay, the Chiefs on the field now. The Boss Hogs on the field now. And he's out there. He's pointing, calling fucking plays out. I love Baker Mayfield. Wicked accurate thrower. Steam on the ball, accurate, doesn't get rattled. Not the best athlete. Drew Brees wasn't the best athlete.
Yeah.
All I'm fucking saying.
He's still not. But you know what he does? He sits in the pocket. He has a quick release.
Send it.
And yeah, he sends it. He's not afraid to send it.
Dude, you gotta dude, listen, there's times in life where you just gotta fucking step up in the pocket, shrug your shoulders, just send it.
Dude, live too. That's just
can't dug it, fuck it. You just gotta send it in there. Send it in there.
But
just like your ex-girlfriends, you gotta send them.
About that Ravens game, that that hurt, but I'm happy for Baker, but it hurt me because I have the Ravens defense. That's the only defense I have in the fantasy league. Bring up the fantasy again.
Fucking Terrell Suggs. Gotta be careful around Terrell Suggs. He hates white people, man. Terrell Suggs is one of those dudes where he's like, yo, the fucking Tom Brady wins because it's rigged and he's white. The type of shit Terrell Suggs says.
Well, I mean, you get ignorance everywhere you go in life, so I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about the numbers people put up, you know? I'm all about the numbers. If you're putting up numbers, you can say it's rigged all day. That's bad sportsmanship to me because
you know how hard it is to rig sports.
Yeah, I mean, I do believe sports get rigged, but everybody...
It's mostly with the refereeing, though. It has nothing to do with what goes on the field.
Everybody was saying...
Especially in team sports.
When the Saints got knocked out of the playoffs last year by the Vikings, and that DB missed that tackle, everybody was saying that was on purpose. All he had to do was make that tackle. And no, the guy choked. It happens. It happens. And nobody is perfect. And
people were trying to say it was rigged when the Saints won the Super Bowl that year with everything that happened, Hurricane Katrina and shit.
And they didn't have a home stadium.
Everyone was like, it's fucking rigged.
They just want to give America hope again.
Yeah, America fucking hope. Send it. I was just like, whatever, dude. That was that's probably tied. That Super Bowl game, it's hard. So my two favorite Super Bowls of all time, as far as how much I had fun watching them, was that Super Bowl. We had my buddy Adam's house. He had a bunch of people packed in the room, dude. When they kicked that onside kick at the half,
yes,
we fucking shit ourselves in that pile when they were scrumming for the ball. Dude, it felt like an eternity with them trying to figure out who had the ball and shit. You guys came up with the ball. I lost my fucking mind.
That's what I love about Sean Payton.
Not afraid to send it.
He is not afraid. He is like Baker.
And the other one was, remember when the fucking Steelers played the Cardinals?
Well, I just want to say that he outgunned Peyton again.
For sure.
I just want to bring that up because.
We gonna move him up more to go ranking?
Well, listen.
Slide him up.
No, I'm gonna keep him at 5 if he wins the Super Bowl. But what I want to say is that he outgunned Peyton, and that was a time where Peyton was a god to most people.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Papa John's.
Yeah, Papa John's. He's selling pizza now.
The other one was when the Steelers played the Cardinals. Remember how crazy that game was? That game was fucking wild. James Harrison picked the ball off in the end zone, ran it all the way back for touchdown, and barely made it in the end zone. They had to fucking take an oxygen tank out for him. That game was crazy too. But yeah, so I mean, Cleveland. I like what I'm seeing out of Cleveland in a lot of ways, dude. They could easily have 4 or 5 wins. So their 2-6, in my opinion, does not look as bad as some other teams' 2-6s. You know what I'm
Do
saying?
you think they need to continue this season, or they need to take the draft pick?
Oh, they're getting a good draft. They're getting good draft picks no matter what. They got extra draft picks too. They've been wheeling and dealing, so they're probably gonna have extra draft.
Oh, I know they've been busy.
What they need to do, right, with these draft picks is they need to hit on offensive linemen. They have weapons. They need to hit on offensive linemen. That's what they need to do. Whether they need to address it in the draft or address it in free agency, they need offensive linemen. We'll move on to the AFC South. This division went probably about the way we've been predicting it in the beginning of the year, except for I said Houston and Jacksonville would be at the top.
I don't agree with Tennessee. I wouldn't have guessed that because I'm actually impressed with Tennessee right now. The way they've played, because they've been a terrible franchise in the past. But I did not see this happening. I didn't see them over Jacksonville as well.
Yeah, I had Jacksonville going 10-6, Houston going 9-7, and then Tennessee going 8-8. I had all wicked fucking close, and then I had the Colts going 5-11. It looks like the Colts will probably go 5-11, but yeah, this is one of those divisions where it's like it's kind of fun to watch because they all like beat each other up and play defense and shit like that. But fucking Houston picking up the honey badger, man. I told people, this guy at work disagreed with me. My favorite defensive player in the league right now is the honey badger, dude. Tyrann Mathieu can fucking play.
Did you check out the rest of Houston's schedule, though? They got a pretty light schedule, dude. Look. They got Redskins, Titans.
That'll be a tough game.
Browns, Colts, Jets. Eagles will be tough, and then they got the Jags. And they've already beat the Jags. They put down the Jags 20-7.
I say Houston goes 10-6.
I don't know if I'll say 10-6.
I think they go 10-6. I think they drop 3 of those last set of games.
They have a pretty light schedule. I definitely see them going to the playoffs, but it seems like they kind of.
Well, if you win your division, you're in.
Huh?
You win your division, you're in. Well, hey, they've won playoff games before, dude. My Bengals have lost to them twice in the wild card. That's why I don't like the Texans, dude.
It seems like the Bengals have a playoff curse right now as well, though.
I haven't won a playoff game since the year I was born.
Yeah, so their curse probably out-trumped.
Can you believe that?
Houston Texans. That's crazy.
I'm 28. They haven't won a playoff game in 28 years.
It's good that you're a fan, though. At least we know you're loyal.
Yeah, but my friends all talk shit to me because I'm not super huge about football anymore. I watch more soccer than I watch football now, and they're like, you ain't a fucking American, freaking out.
He's changed on us.
He doesn't drink Budweiser either.
Yeah.
We should fucking shoot him. But yeah, so I mean, this division, there's not much to really say about this division. I mean, I really think that Tennessee, Jacksonville, and the Colts, they'll keep muddling around, and I think that Houston will really, really start to take off here from these guys.
So the Tennessee.
I think Tennessee and Jacksonville will flow.
They got the Patriots this weekend.
Yeah, they'll get smoked.
Yeah.
And then Indianapolis, they have one of the worst rosters in the league. The only reason why they got 3 wins is because they got Andrew Luck. It's the only reason. Their roster's trash.
I'm gonna make a prediction. I'm gonna say November the 26th that Tennessee Titans beat the Texans.
The Tennessee Titans beat the Texans?
Yeah. I'm gonna say that they beat the division leader.
Mariota, man?
Yeah, Mariota, man.
Marcus Mariota coming out there, tearing the fuck up. Although I will say, I was telling Andy J this, my buddy's a diehard Tennessee fan. I like the way Tennessee's playing, though. They're playing this, like, smash mouth.
Their defense is awesome.
Yeah, their defense is awesome, but they're playing this smash mouth. Like, Mariota's, like, running for touchdowns and shit, and they're running the ball. RPO shit. They're keeping the ball on the ground a lot.
They got a lot of heart right now.
Yeah, they're gutting it out. They're really trying to get it. It'd be dope to see Tennessee make a little run here, but...
That's what I'm saying. My predictions may be on that I just want to see them do good. But
you just like that Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah, all the whiskey I drink is from Tennessee.
Okay. Here's one of the most interesting divisions is the AFC West. I told everyone about Patty Mahomes, man. I told everybody. Now, you know what I said, though?
You've been waiting to just tell me about this on this podcast because you did. He was, I will say, that's all he was talking about before the draft. And he was just, because we had a few conversations on who to look out for. And he was talking about old Patty. And if he wasn't right, he's amazing, man.
Dude, their point differential is 101 plus 101. That's crazy. Now, I don't even know if anyone comes close to that.
He's beating my Breeze.
Okay,
right
the
now.
Los Angeles Rams is 99. Their differential.
You know, he's beating my Breeze right now.
So yeah, so what I picked was I picked the Chargers to finish ahead of them, which the Chargers still could finish ahead of them. They're 6-2, you know, but Oakland, we don't even need to talk about Oakland. They're a fucking hot mess. Fucking Gruden just traded everyone away. They're blowing it up.
Okay, I just want to say the guy Mahomes has 29 touchdowns.
You know he's on pace to throw 60.
His QB rating is 116.7. He's thrown 2,900 yards. That's insane.
Listen to me.
Insane.
He's on pace to throw for 60 touchdowns and 6,000 yards. He won't get there, but how crazy is that? He's thrown almost 30 touchdowns and 3,000 yards through the first half of the season. How nuts is that?
And yeah, and you called it, man. It's pretty.
He's going to be MVP. Especially if they keep winning the way they're winning, because I love Todd Gurley, but a running back's not more valuable than a quarterback.
I did not see him coming because I don't like the Big 12. I believe Texas Tech, that's the Big 12, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even see this guy coming.
See, what's funny is you say that, but so I don't watch college football that much, but what I do is I follow a couple dudes that scout players and for the NFL. And what I do is I will take, like, say, because I'm a nerd and I never sleep, when it comes draft time, I will sit down and I'll take, like, the top 10 prospects at, like, almost every position, and I'll just sit up at night and just watch their game tape, right? Outside of Andrew Luck, him and Andrew Luck, the past decade, Pat Mahomes and Andrew Luck, in my opinion, had the best college game tapes. Because, yes, in the Big 12, Pat Mahomes didn't play against a lot of really good teams. But, dude, Pat Mahomes is doing shit that I'd never seen a quarterback do before, dude. He could do everything. He could run, throw off the back foot. This was before he got drafted. I was watching him in college.
So you was just like watching.
And I was like, this dude should be the number 1 overall pick. I was saying that. He should be at least the first quarterback off the board. He didn't.
I didn't hear of him during college. I mean, I'm a big SEC guy, but I guess that hurt me for just being so.
Dude, I was
on my division.
My boy AJ tries to act like he was on the Pat Mahomes hype train, but I was on the Pat Mahomes hype train when he was playing in college. I was like, this kid has it all. Throwing power, the velocity, the accuracy. He's accurate. He's accurate on plays where, like, dudes can't be accurate. Like, he'll be running to his left, throw off his back foot across his fucking body and throws it on a dime to dudes. It's just his level of awareness is so high. Dude, it was his junior or senior year. He threw for 41 touchdowns and ran for 10 touchdowns.
But what are they?
How fucking crazy is that?
What are they going to do to the Cardinals this weekend?
We're gonna fucking smoke them. We're gonna smoke the Cardinals.
But then again, and then if you wait a week later, you got the Rams on Monday Night Football. So how's he gonna stack up against the Rams?
Smoke them.
Smoke them. You gonna call that?
I think they beat the Rams. You know what sucks though? Their defense is trash. Their defense is bad. Imagine what they would do if their defense wasn't on the field all the time. You ever think about that? Imagine how much the Chiefs would score if their defense didn't fucking stay on the field that much. Imagine if their defense was good enough to get stops and give them the ball back.
Yeah. Because he's really been, I don't know, he's really done what a lot of quarterbacks haven't done in a long time. So I don't know too much about their defense. I don't really keep up with Kansas City, but
They got injuries. Like, their three best defensive players have been injured this whole year. They got an injured linebacker, an injured pass rusher, and they got Eric Berry, who I'm pretty sure has been injured, or he might have just came back.
I never kept up. I got a real good friend who's a Chiefs fan, and we actually went to a Buffalo's Chiefs game. But other than that, man, I didn't see them coming. I didn't see them doing this year. I mean, he must have a great offensive line blocking for him. Like,
I don't think that offensive line is that good. I think it's a combination of him and how good those weapons are. Their weapons are so good on top of how good he is that you think about it. Tyreek Hill demands a double team. You can't let him you can't let him get enough separation in the middle of the field, and you can't let him go over the top of you. Sammy Watkins, I wouldn't say he needs a double team, but you can't let Sammy go over the top because Sammy's fast. Travis Kelce, how the fuck? And then with those two, you got Travis Kelce in the middle, doing the intermediate routes, running the seams. And then if all that fails, dude, Kareem Hunt's got like 6 touchdown receptions. If all else fails, he can either hand the ball off or dump it off to Kareem, and Kareem Hunt and Mahomes can run. They can do it. They can do everything. He can play in every system.
What's their record at the end of the season?
13-3. That's what I'm gonna say. I had them going 10-6, and I had the Chargers going 11-5, and then both getting the playoffs. But now I have the Chargers going 9-7, or probably 10-6. I have the Chargers going 10-6, maybe 11-5, and Kansas City's going to finish 13-3. They might lose 2 games. I don't think they lose again. I don't think they lose to the Rams. I think they get the Rams this time. I think the Rams is their only loss, right? Or no, the Patriots is their only loss.
Yeah, the Patriots.
They lost to the Pats.
I think Los Angeles will pull it off.
Think so?
So I'm gonna say I think that I'm gonna say they go by looking at their schedule they go 14-2.
And what stood out for me was this. I started thinking about it. So Carson Wentz, remember Carson Wentz was extremely talented. He played Division 1A. He didn't play Division AA. Never played against good teams. But his talent was so outstanding. His IQ, his measurables, his throwing ability, all these things. The NFL scouts were like, yo, this dude's a real deal. They took him and he was. Because of how highly they regarded Wentz, when I seen how good Pat Mahomes was in college, his arm talent alone, best arm talent I've ever seen when I started caring about scouting players. His arm talent is the best arm talent I've seen since I started paying attention to like scouting players. His arm talent was better than Andrew Luck's. Andrew Luck's a more polished quarterback at this point, but I've never seen another quarterback with the arm talent that he's got since I've been alive in paying attention. His arm talent's crazy. The stuff he can do. It doesn't matter if he's running left. Doesn't matter if he's running right. Doesn't matter what route you run it to. He can be running full blast and throw the ball on a dime to dudes in coverage. No dudes can do that. The only guy that can do that is Rodgers. He plays his best ability. Rodgers can do it. But Mahomes does it like it's no big deal. He's just like, whatever.
Just another day in the neighborhood.
Word. So, like, imagine what it's going to be like if he keeps getting better, dude.
Or if they get a defense.
Or if they get an offensive line. Their offensive line's been...
They must be blocking.
Their offensive line's been decent this year, but they don't...
He's still young.
He's
They can't be putting too much pressure on him.
But I don't know. It's hard to explain. I just seen it. His game tape was just like... He just sends it. His game tape was so good.
Well, what about the Chargers? How do you feel about the Chargers?
Chargers, same old, same old. They're going to be good all season. They'll flop in the playoffs like they always do.
What do they finish with?
I say they finish 10 or 11 wins, but they'll flop in the playoffs. They'll get in the wild card and lose. That's what they always do. They always get in the playoffs and they lose. I love Phillip Rivers. In my opinion, Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Fame quarterback. Numbers-wise and how consistent he's been, he doesn't have a championship, but he's got playoff wins. Consistently, he's gone to the playoffs a lot, gotten playoff wins. You can make a case that he's probably the most deserving quarterback to go into the Hall of Fame that does not have a ring, besides Joe Montana. Or not Joe Montana, Dan Marino, but Dan Marino's already in.
So 10-6?
I'd say 10-6 or maybe 11-5. 10-6, 11-5. And then Denver probably win like 5 or 6 games. And then Oakland, Oakland's fucking trash.
Eh,
Oakland's trash. We'll move on.
yeah.
Oakland, I don't even want to talk about Oakland. Okay, now we're in the NFC.
The best, you mean?
Now we're in the NFC. Yeah, the better side of the NFL. How do you feel about the glorified football soap opera division, the NFC East? It's like a soap opera. I love watching their games, dude. Don't you, dude? The Giants are so trash. All these Giants fans that were like, the Giants are going to go fucking 11-5 this year. It's fucking over, bro. It's fucking over. We got fucking Eli. We got a running back. We got fucking Odell. It's fucking over, bro. It's over. They ain't fucking 1-7.
Well, I've heard most screaming from the Eagles fans just because they won, their first Super Bowl last year, and they're like, "Oh, just wait, Which Carson? Carson's been kind of quiet. He's been really mediocre, if you ask me."
Well, he didn't play last year, so
Yeah.
I think he's starting to play better. You know what's hilarious? They still win this division. I think the Eagles will still win this division.
Yeah,
I think the Eagles will come on strong, go 10-6, 9-7, and win the division. I think Washington will fall off cliff.
I agree with you. I think that the Eagles will win the division, but to me, that's just not saying much. So.
It's not saying much. There's not much to say about these guys. I mean, Dallas playing really good defense. Dallas can only go as far as Dak can take them.
Which isn't going to be far right now.
Which isn't far right now. He can't throw the ball down.
He doesn't have the confidence right now, too. And, yeah, he can't throw the ball far. I can't even talk, but he can't throw the ball far. And everybody is making fun of him for it. He sees that.
He's not good down the field.
His confidence is going down because
his
performance is going down.
And they picked up Amari Cooper, a big fucking deal. Amari Cooper is a similar player to Dez. Like,
yeah,
you gotta. Amari Cooper is bread and butter, is getting deep into the middle of the field and down the field.
Yeah.
And like, did you see how they played last week? I watched some of that. They're fucking running slants and dig routes and shit to Amari Cooper. It's like they're gonna Des Bryant Amari Cooper. They're gonna do the same shit. Amari Cooper's gonna run fucking dig routes, 10 and ins, curls, out routes and shit. And like, he ain't going fucking deep.
So if do you think if Dak had like old Ocho Cinco, he could somebody who could cut?
No,
and somebody light and he could make that cut.
He can't consistently make all the throws. I don't really think it. Honestly, I don't think it matters.
I think his short game's decent. I think he could be a playoff quarterback if they ran the offense right. But
he manages a football game well, and he doesn't turn the ball over all that much.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, Tom's short game's phenomenal, but Tom could also throw it over you, throw it in between the hashes, all that stuff. He throw it in the middle of the field, like same with Drew. Drew's got some of the best short game of all time, but Drew Brees can just dial up and send it over the top. He can throw it through the middle. Like, he could do everything. And it's just Dak. I don't see Dak. Dak's just not that guy.
He never excels over his rookie season.
No, I think those first 2 years are the best we're ever going to see out of Dak.
Okay.
I really do.
I think
Philly's going to win.
Is my team, and Dak is from Mississippi State. But I'm going to have to agree with that. What I've seen, I'm going to be real with myself and say Dak's seen his best years in his rookie season.
That's and that's the big thing. What do you think about this? They got to start negotiating Dak's contract soon. So do you think Jerry's going to think Dak's the guy and pay him $100 million, or what do you think is going to happen there?
It depends on what
pull Tony Romo out of retirement.
Oh, I think it depends on really what comes on the table, like who's up for drafts, who can they get. And if a free agent would be better than Dak, because Dak's just not a good fit right now, just like Eli isn't a good fit. I don't know. So I see them maybe keeping him because of Dallas' decisions in the past. So they really haven't been making good business decisions. I don't think so.
I think they keep him, but you got to be honest with how much he's worth. If you get Dak at the right price, you keep him because Dak can win you fucking football games. He can win you football games. But when push comes to shove, you need a big play. If it's 3rd and 17, or you need to make a fucking crazy play, or you need a big play down the field, Dak consistently can't do that. And it's one of those things where it's like, You got to sign him for the right price. He's not worth 10 years, $180 million.
But is Jerry Jones, is he ready to stop being mediocre? Or is he just doing it for the money?
I don't know. Fucking Jerry Jones. He's just a football fan. He don't know.
He likes that money too, though. He's making some
business
deals.
It stinks. And that's why they drafted, like, I don't know, their defense is playing really good, but I can't see Cowboys are 3-5 right now, dude. 3 more games make it so they're probably not going to make the playoffs. How the rest of this year goes is going to determine really how much Dak is really going to net. I just don't think he's worth. Do you think he's worth fucking Aaron Rodgers money?
Oh, absolutely not.
No. Look at the guys that get paid a lot. Is he worth Aaron Rodgers money? No, he's not.
No.
So I'm curious to see what Dallas is going to do. And I like Dak as a player and stuff like that, but you got to be honest.
He should get paid as a starting quarterback. Don't get me wrong. He shouldn't be. He should get paid for his time, but he is not going to. And he's not going to get Wentz money. He's not going to get any of them.
Here's another thing to look at in this division. You want to know why I think the Redskins are going to fall off a cliff? It's because they're negative in their point differential. What's interesting is Philly's plus 22 and Dallas is plus 3. Dallas is plus 3 turnover or point differential because they play good defense. If Dallas can get a turnaround, they could possibly squeak in as a wild card, depending on what the other team does. But I don't see them doing it. I think the Skins fall off a cliff, and I think Philly takes the division over. Winner gets in. I think Philly goes 9-7, 10-6. They slip in. Could the Cowboys turn around if Amari Cooper and Dak can have a connection? They could, but they would have to win. They would have to lose no more than 2 games to have a shot. They'd have to go 9-7 to have a shot.
They have to play Dallas football, like power, like you need to. Running back.
You know what I don't like? I don't like how they don't do more schemes to get the ball in Zeke's hand. Like, why are they not finding more ways? Like, Zeke is more versatile than just running between the tackles. I don't like how they use Zeke. First off, they don't give him enough touches half the time. Second off, they got to split him out a little bit. Run some bubble screens. Run some RPO stuff. They need to run some RPO stuff because Dak can run the fucking football. Why are they not doing run-pass option shit?
Yeah, I know. That makes me mad that Dak never runs because that's why he was such a threat at Mississippi State. I know this is a whole nother ball game.
Right.
But still, he still can run if you think about all the quarterbacks in the NFL. He could do something. He don't need to run all the way upfield like you said, but there's options. There's they could do reverses, things of that nature.
So now moving on to the NFC North, this is one of the more interesting divisions because look at fucking Chicago, dude. Now this is one that the analysts got right. There was a lot of analysts out there that were like, the Chicago Bears are going to make the playoffs this year. I really think Chicago does have a chance of making the playoffs. I don't think they'll win the division. I still think Minnesota will win this division. They're both 5-3. But look at the fucking point differential. Defense is so good. 80 to plus 82. That's going to keep you in ball games, baby. Plus 82, that'll keep you in ball games. I still think Minnesota. I think Minnesota's going to have the best second half of the year any team.
I say the Chicago Bears. I say they beat the Lions this weekend, but then the next weekend when they play the Vikings, they get beat.
Yeah, I think the Vikings beat them. Yeah. I think the Vikings are going to go strong. I think they'll finish 11-5. I think they'll win the division. I think the Chicago will go 9-7, 10-6 maybe, and they'll be in the wild card. I think Chicago's locked to be in the wild card, but I don't think they'll win a playoff game. Because you want to know why? Trubisky's still young. They'll get in the playoff games. Trubisky probably will fucking melt down.
I do not.
They'll have flashbacks to North Carolina State.
I do not like Minnesota.
I do like Minnesota, though.
I respect them.
Oh, you don't like them as a rival?
I don't like them because of the team history with the Saints. But I do respect them because they're a good team, and I respect Kirk.
Yeah, dudes, listen. They don't call Kirk Swaggy for nothing. Swaggy Kirk Cousins, dude. You like that?
I do believe he's got good swag, man, because he took that pressure.
You like that?
He took that well.
You like
all
that?
The pressure they put on him, and he's running with it, man. He's another one. I'm just gonna send it.
Yeah, Kirk don't give 2 fucks. Kirk just stands in the pocket and fucking sends it, dude. He's like, whatever, hey, y'all, if you're walking on ice, you might as well dance, you know. And then Detroit. Detroit's one of those teams where it's just like, I feel bad for Matt Stafford because
waste of talent.
You're wasting his talent in Detroit. Like, people talk shit about Stafford, but Stafford's actually one of the better quarterbacks. He's like that dude where he's like an A plus infringing on A minus quarterback. He can make all throws. You know what? Matt Stafford might be the toughest dude in the NFL too. You ever watch the sound bites of him when he's playing? Dude, he's so tough. Do you remember a few years back when he threw the fucking touchdown with his left hand because his right shoulder broke?
No, I don't remember that, but
No, it was he broke his left shoulder. Go watch his sound effects with him, dude. He's so funny. That kid's tough as nails. There's this play where they need to win. They need to win the game. They got to throw a 2-point conversion after they score.
Oh, it's where he pops it out.
Yeah, his left.
And he goes and he wins the game with it popped out. Yes, I had.
He goes. They got him on the sideline. He goes. No. He goes. I can throw if you need me to throw. I can throw. He goes. No, your shoulder's broken. No, I can do. I can throw. He's like, I'm going in and all this stuff. Right? He goes in. They snap the ball to him in shotgun formation. He catches it with one hand. Is throwing in, spins the ball in his hand, dude. Throws a 2-point conversion to win the game.
Wins the game, and then he falls in pain.
Yeah, falls in pain. And then he's hobbling off the field, dude. He's so tough.
Yeah. Like, that's crazy because his arm was just sitting there, like, just wiggling out of, like,
dude, he's
the whole
tough.
time.
I've always loved Matt Stafford. I just think that team's trash. The question is, Matt Stafford's got to be 28, 29, 30.
The Lions, all I got to say is the Lions must be paying good, man.
Yeah, well, no, they gave him a huge contract.
Well, then it must be more about money to him than winning because
I think
wasting his talent.
I think that he wanted to try to win there.
So you think he fell in love with?
Yeah, I think he wanted to try to win there, but they're just not going to get it done, dude. They're 3-5.
He's had enough time to, though. They've had enough time to win with Matt. It's not working.
It's not working, but I think his contract's long, though.
Yeah, it must be because he needs to move on. But where would you put him?
I'd like to see Matt Stafford with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay.
Dude, there's tons of the quarterbacks I'd love to see go play for Jacksonville because all they need is a quarterback, dude. Get a quarterback, couple offensive linemen, Jacksonville will be like all over the place, dude. But there's rumors Jacksonville's getting moved to London, so you hear that?
No, London.
There's rumors, because the NFL wants to expand, baby. They want to be the global football league, not National Football League.
I don't like that.
They want to put a team in Mexico, they want to put a team in Canada, and they want to put a team in London.
Hey, call me conservative, but I'm all about America. You know.
You don't like Mexico? Have you ever been to Mexico?
Yeah, no, I like other countries.
Mexico's dope.
And I've been to other countries, but I think the NFL should say the NFL. They should have other leagues that maybe.
Listen, bro, you gotta step out of that little conservative shell here. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you mean to tell me when your team plays in London, you're going to get away tickets?
No, you just watch them in the middle of the night.
Yeah, but still,
No, you watch those games in the morning.
Okay, now I could get more competitive because it's like, hey, America's playing in London today, or you know what I mean? Like American teams playing.
Well, they just don't become your team anymore.
It would be American players anyways.
Yeah,
over there. Am I right?
Yeah. That is weird.
How would that work? Would they start recruiting from other countries as well?
Yeah, probably. I mean, looking at the way soccer does it, the money leagues, they're players from all over the world. Like, take the English Premier League, for example. They're teams that represent specific areas and boroughs in the big major cities of fucking England. But their players are from all over the world. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, you got a lot of English dudes that play in the Premier League, but there's tons of foreign players. They come there to make their money. You could sign anyone from anywhere.
So this new league should let other people in as well, like other leagues, like the Canadian League. Like
our league still does. Our league still does that. There have been foreign players that play in the NFL, but you got to remember
kickers too, right?
Yeah, you got to remember though, the NFL. We're the only place that's serious about the NFL. So you're still American players going to have to play for other places if they do
they
that.
don't even like our version of football.
Dude, London, they sell out every time.
Well, I know they've been playing in London, but
when a game goes to London, they sell out.
That's still not like their.
It's just not big around the world.
Their main sport, like if you were to go to their school,
like basketball's played everywhere.
Yeah.
NFL football's not.
Baseball's not.
No, baseball is on this side of the hemisphere. Baseball is played throughout South America and like the Caribbean islands and shit.
Too.
Japan plays baseball. China does.
It's big in Japan.
It's big. It's not the way basketball and soccer are in fighting. No. They're everywhere. Everywhere you go, you'll find someone playing basketball.
Does Russia have a baseball team?
I'm not sure. Russia plays everything except for probably NFL. Russia does
They
everything.
try. They try.
Well, they're good at everything too, except for probably they don't. They're not into American football. It's one of those things where I feel like Mother Russia would probably like fuck the NFL. Ooh, now. So yeah, I think the Vikings will have the best second half of the season of all these teams, and I think that Chicago will make the wild card. Green Bay. God, I love Aaron Rodgers, but like Aaron Rodgers, that motherfucker should demand a trade. Aaron Rodgers to Jacksonville.
I would be mad at Green Bay.
I would be too, dude. They traded all his favorite players. They went and traded Jordy Nelson, and Rodgers is like, what the fuck? Am I chopped liver? Like, what the fuck?
They're setting him up for failure, and now he's starting to get injured because of it.
Yeah, because he's got to do more.
Yeah.
So yeah, Detroit will be at the bottom. I mean, could the Packers catch back up? They're only 3-4. Could the Packers catch back up and battle the Bears for that last wild card spot? Yeah, they could.
With Rodgers' arms, absolutely. But
they could.
With his passing ability, they could. But I don't see how. I don't.
Now it's time for we're getting the shits now. The NFC South. We'll let you take it off the top, James.
Well, I'm just gonna say that my Saints are 7-1. We are leading the division right now. Things are looking up for us. We just got Dez. You guys have heard. I like the idea. I like how Sean Payton's thinking. He is going to use Dez as not a number one go-to receiver because we have that, and we have these triple threat players like Kamara. But with Dez, I think it'll be a good red zone addition. It'll be he's got Breeze throwing the ball, so you ain't got to worry about little Dak Prescott mistakes like that. You know, you got the GOAT, the old GOAT. And yes, I see the Saints winning our division. I mean, you had the Panthers lose last night to Pittsburgh, so that widened the gap a little bit, and that's usually our rival all the time. We play them one more time in December. No, we play them twice in December. But if you guys remember last year, we swept them when we had to play them at the end of the season. So hopefully that happens. And that's pretty much all I got to say about the Saints.
All right, so we need to talk about something with your Saints. I do 100% agree your Saints are going to win your division. And I like Carolina, but Carolina's playing really well. They're 6-3, but Carolina could clinch is one of the teams that's going to vie for one of the wild card spots. Carolina will,
and they still could take the division. I mean,
I don't think so. Carolina wins 10 games.
Well, it's possible for them to, but I don't think they will now, and especially after last night's game, I don't believe they will. Carolina
could take one of the playoff. Could clinch a wild card spot. I think Carolina goes 10-6. I think your Saints go 13-3. That's what I think. And then, Falcons, they're fucking dumpster fire. Same with Tampa. But
what about the Falcons?
Well, I want to talk about Drew Brees, right? So I pulled up a list just to have some reference. 15 greatest quarterbacks of all time. This one says number 1's Tom. Number 2 is Joe Montana. Number 3 is Peyton Manning. Number 4 is John Elway. And it has number 5, Brett Favre. Now, if you look past 5, I think there's a handful of guys you can lump in at 5. Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Steve Young, Dan Marino, Troy Aikman, and Drew Brees, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my personal opinion is this. We're going to have to get petty on this because a lot of the things that bode for Drew Brees are like petty things too. Drew Brees, hands down, skill-wise, one of the best quarterbacks ever to play, right? And he's got a Super Bowl. He's got a shit ton of wins, crazy stats.
And if you really know what his Super Bowl means, like he came from a team that or a franchise that hasn't ever been that real.
Yeah, the Saints had no history.
Yeah.
If you take all the petty shit in consideration, he's 6 feet tall, not a high-level athlete, works hard, can make every fucking throw. In my opinion, if Drew Brees can get his second Super Bowl this year, I feel like you have to have the talk that he's possibly the fifth greatest quarterback of all time.
That he takes that spot from Brett.
There's a handful of guys at 5 that I'm okay with anyone saying. Brett, Steve Young, Dan Marino. Honestly, I like Dan Marino don't got the hardware, but like Dan Marino has a strong case for the 5th over a lot of those other guys. Like I feel like 5th best, you have to be like Dan Marino, Drew, Steve, because they all got championships and they're all really good.
So you're saying if he wins a Super Bowl this year,
he's on the level of all those guys. He's on the level of all those guys. He wins one more. Dan Marino was so good. I don't understand how they couldn't even though they sucked, like they made it to a Super Bowl and they didn't win it. And like Dan Marino was so good. He's one of the most talented players ever, dude. Dan Marino, just have how good Dan Marino is. He's like in that top 5 talk. He's in that 5th spot talk.
Well, Breeze, how long do you think he's got?
I think Breeze could probably play tops like another year or two. He takes care of himself the way Tom does.
He's 39 right now.
He's 39. He could probably play till he's Tom, like maybe 2-3 more years. If he wants to.
So you're going to go with the Saints, though? You're going to back me?
Back you on what?
Going with the Saints?
As far as winning the division? Yeah. 100%. They're going to win the division. I think they're going to run away with it. Like I said, they're going to win 13 games, I think. Carolina, who knows? They could go anywhere from fucking 8-8 to 10-6 because they're just flakes. Arizona or Atlanta. Atlanta's problem is they're just riddled with injuries. They're just gonna get, I'm just even surprised Atlanta's 4-4. Tampa Bay, that's another organization. They're a fucking dumpster fire.
Do you have faith for Ryan?
Matt Ryan, as far as what?
Do you have faith in him as a good quarterback right now? Say if you were a good fantasy quarterback.
Well, fantasy, he's a good quarterback, but Matt Ryan as an actual quarterback in real life is one of those dudes where I put him where Matt Stafford is.
Okay.
All the skills to be an elite quarterback, but they just have little things about them where like they don't do it consistently, they don't win enough. They're like that B+ guy. They're like that B++ dude where they're almost like an A- quarterback. I put them two together.
So I am going with the choke artist himself, Fitzpatrick, this weekend.
So you're going to start Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Yes, I'm going to start him because he's going up against Washington. Washington has allowed the most points by all quarterbacks this season. And I don't know, man. Wentz has been mediocre, like I said, for fantasy. I know you said he just started, but and he plays Dallas. That's a rival game, so they could go either way. He could like show out just because he wants to stick it to Dallas.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think this division's pretty concrete.
Yeah, I think we pretty much.
It's just the Saints, especially with Dez. Back to Dez, like adding Dez. People talk shit about Dez, dude, but Dez does not have to be the fucking stretchy guy. Dez isn't. He's not the best route runner, but you can't put single coverage on Dez. He'll catch the ball underneath you, run through you. He's a sure catch on the outside. He can run slot routes.
Well, I think that they got a quarterback that can get the ball to
him.
The Dez that people are gonna have a lot different opinion on Dez.
Yeah, I really think in this system with those guys, I think Dez is gonna surprise people. I think he's gonna have a good second.
Got them hands,
And think about it. What if he plays really well? Then Drew's like.
What if he does become the number one guy?
No, he won't become the number one guy. Michael Thomas is a beast.
What if he is? I don't know what they need to pull out the Super Bowl.
Well, no, but you got to remember, Drew Brees has had years where he's had two guys to go for 1,000 yards in his offense.
Well, they can't double cover. They won't double cover Michael and.
You got Alvin Kamara coming out of the backfield, dude. It's gonna be hard. Des Bryant's gonna play well with these guys.
You only have so many players, so it's gonna be a real threat for other teams.
So the fucking the Spectrum dude came over. And my connection was bad to my internet, and he found out what it was. Apparently, squirrels destroyed something on our shit.
Squirrels ate through the line.
Yeah, or some shit. And that's why our shit was fucked up.
They
And the
put
guy,
you a new line in, didn't they?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they had to do that to mine because it's in such bad condition. If they come and they find out it's bad, they can't leave without fixing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think Dez will play good. And then I mean the NFC West, I mean this one's one of those ones that's the final one. It's in the bag. Like Los Angeles will probably lose maybe one or two more games, 13-3, 14-2. They're so good, dude. They're really good. Same thing though. When they get into the playoffs, that team is going to come down to how well does Jared Goff play in the playoffs.
Hang on, the Rams lost the game. Who did they lose to?
Oh, Drew Brees and the Saints. Drew Brees, the Bayou Goat, bro. You know about that? The Bayou and Sons, bro.
And then they got the Seahawks coming up. So, I mean, we can kind of predict what's going to happen there, but the Seahawks are second in that division.
I feel like we need to send a tweet to Brett Favre, and then we need to sit you and Brett Favre down, and we can do a mockumentary about Mississippi.
Indeed.
I mean, you guys walk around town and we film. You guys just talk about Mississippi, like Brett Favre, be like, "This is where it all happened. This is where it all happened right here. I remember like it was yesterday." And you're just like, "Oh yeah, man. You know this is a historic spot. All this stuff." That should be fucking hilarious.
You guys can become best friends.
Yeah, you guys can just you guys start out in like his hunting room where he has like two chairs and a whiskey table, a little whiskey cabinet. You guys are sitting by a fire. You guys are just talking about Mississippi and everything it has to offer about Mississippi, where Mississippi molds men, the Triple M.
How have you been watching my dreams or something?
Do you dream about just kicking it with Brett Favre?
With Brett and just and we're both wearing this awesome pair of Wranglers.
Where he goes, why don't we get on out of here and go up to Hattiesburg and all this stuff? You guys driving up there? We'll go up to the ranch.
Let's go shuck some peas.
Shuck some peas.
On the porch, we're sitting there on the rocking chair shooting shit,
Oh, dude, that's fucking funny. Brett Favre is such a fucking savage, dude. But yeah, like Los Angeles, they're going to run. Seahawks, as much as I love the Seahawks, they're really playing good the past couple games, but their team's not deep enough. I don't see them making the playoffs. I think the Seahawks will be out of the hunt. Arizona, trash. San Francisco, trash. Although, disclaimer, Josh Rosen's playing really good for Arizona, even though that team's garbage. San Francisco was one of those teams that the analysts got wrong. Everyone's like, San Francisco, 12-4. Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, granted, Jimmy Garoppolo's injured, but
they weren't doing anything before.
They weren't doing anything before that. Everyone's like, Jimmy Garoppolo, they're going to the Super Bowl.
Well, he's the key that we need.
So, lastly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the playoff picture. So, right now, the playoffs started tomorrow. Kansas City would be the number 1 seed in the AFC. New England would be 2. Pittsburgh would be 3. Houston would be 4. The wild cards would be the Chargers and the Bengals.
I'd take the Bengals over.
In the hunt, though, Miami, Baltimore, Tennessee, Jacksonville, and Indianapolis are in the hunt. Indianapolis ain't getting shit. You can automatically... Jacksonville, gone. Tennessee, gone.
Tennessee's hot, though.
Yeah, but I don't see it, dude.
If I see any upset, I don't see it. But if I honestly had any upset, that would win.
As much as I love Mariota, man, that's another team where they're really good, right?
Yeah.
But Mariota's going to take that team as far as they go. However far they go is going to be determined on how good Mariota plays.
Depending on how much he matures.
Yeah, because what if they? I just don't see him making the playoffs, man. It says for the Bengals are the thick of the AFC North race, would qualify as a wild card if the season ended today. The second tier of the AFC appears to be thin at the moment. The other team with the winning record outside the top 6 is the Dolphins, and with the annual discussion of Cincinnati coach Marvin Lewis's job security, would a return to the playoffs after 2 years' absence be enough to extend his tenure? As much as I love Marvin Lewis, I think that he should get tossed either way. You know what, though? I tell you what. If the playoffs start tomorrow, I would not be scared of playing the Chargers because the Chargers flake in the playoffs.
I would. That's why I would say Cincinnati all day over the Chargers for sure.
And then the Texans, yeah, I honestly think this is going to be roughly what the playoff picture will look like. The NFC, I don't know. So the number 1 seed in the NFC would be the Rams. 2 would be the Saints.
You already know.
3 would be the Bears. 4 would be the Skids. Now, that's going to change. I think, because remember, you win your division, you're in. And I think that the Washington's going to be the team to take a dump. And I think that the Eagles will take that spot.
So you're going to think, what do you think? You think the Vikings are going to pull ahead?
Yes, of the Bears. The Vikings, the Vikings will be the 3rd seed. And then I think the Vikings will end up the 3rd seed, and I think the Eagles will end up the 4th seed. I think Carolina gets in, and I do this right here, the wild cards, Carolina, Minnesota. I think they do get in. I think Washington falls out. I don't even think Washington makes the wild card. I think Carolina and Minnesota make it in as the wild card. And I think Minnesota beats Carolina.
I hope they do.
I think they do. So, yeah, I mean, halfway through the season, this has been a fun season, even though, I mean, the NFL ain't what it used to be.
You're doing very well on the fantasy league, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm what am I 8-1? Let's see what I'm projected to do in this fantasy league. Not. There's a lot of dudes, like, no matter who is, you're still, like, if you get me your money soon, I'm going to tell everyone, anyone that doesn't get the cash to me by the playoffs, which, check, because the playoffs are like, I think it's like the 3rd to last week the playoffs start.
Yeah.
So whatever week that is, anyone that doesn't have their money to me, they don't have a shot at winning, even if they win. I'm not going to accept any money after that, after the first week.
What's that date, too?
I'm going to
put that out there.
I'm going to look.
Since we're live.
Because I had a fucking dude that plays in our league look me straight in my face and say he's not paying me because he's losing. I go, you're not playing in my league again.
No, that's bull, because then
he's like, hey, you know, I mean, like, you know, I mean, you know, I want to pay you, but I'm like, just say you ain't paying me,
dude,
fucking pussy.
Can you do that shit in Vegas, bro?
Even these fucking cats, bro.
Yeah, they'll take you in the back and
let me find
game you up.
Opposing team standings.
Like cut your fingers off or something. Just take a spinky.
So me and Mr. Pels, who this is his first time in our league, we're both 8-1. He's really good. He plays in a league.
Is he Mountain Goat?
Mountain Goats.
Yeah.
He's a great dude. He's a driver at my work. Great guy. He plays in the league because he's got money and a lot of his buddies do.
Is he the guy that showed up with like the...
He showed up late. I think because his league, they do pen pad like that. They don't,
He was serious.
But he still ended up logging in. This is how much of a savage Mr. Pels is. Mr. Pels logs in, makes an account in a millisecond, hops in there, and still fucking outdrafts everyone, and now he's sitting 8-1.
Yeah.
He's a fucking savage. He plays in a league where where it's a lot. Like, there's a bunch of dudes in this league that pay like $1,000 to get in.
I know a guy like that.
Something crazy.
He loses a lot of money. He's not one of the winners, but he loses a lot of money, and there's a lot of like gambling problems that come through sports.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm trying to see. I'm gonna look ahead, try to see what the matchups are.
Saints are going to win the Super Bowl this year.
I'm not sure. Wait, I'm trying to find. Yeah, so anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to talk about
I'm glad
before we
leave?
leave?
You know, I definitely, if I had to say, I'm going to stick with my Saints winning the Super Bowl this year. I'm sorry.
So your prediction is your Saints are going to Super Bowl?
Yes, and part of it's because I am a fan, yes. But the other part of it is that, man, I think Dez is icing on the cake. I hope I'm not wrong, because him coming, we have a lot of weapons as it is. Our defense isn't terrible, which is weird. And I think that gives us a chance just because our offense is so good.
I think it's going to come down to the Saints and the Rams. And then in the AFC, I think it's going to come down to maybe the Pats and the Steelers, maybe.
Oh, my gosh, that would be awesome.
Pats and the Steelers.
That'd be great.
And the Pats will go. And then they'll lose to either the Rams or the Saints.
Which in a perfect scenario, I'd like to see Pittsburgh go in that situation.
Or maybe, just maybe, Baker Mayfield goes on a run here and they win out and get in the playoffs and the Super Bowl.
Baker, yeah. I mean, he's just going to send it, so you never know.
Dude, I know. It's the thing of this podcast. You just got to send it, folks. Listen, folks, this is the Keepin' It G-Real podcast. James, thanks for coming on.
Oh man, enjoyed it. Always love to be here.
Yeah, soon I'm gonna have to come back. I'm trying to get Anton back on or whatnot, so we can talk about some soccer and a little bit of fighting. A lot of stuff going on in the fighting world. A lot of big things have gone on. There was a first ever fucking trade in the MMA world. Ben Askren for Mighty Mouse Johnson. Yeah, we're gonna come soon next week. Me and Hawkeye, probably Anton. We'll see what's popping. Until then, we'll talk to you guys. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of the NFL season, and we'll holla at you.